I think like one of the biggest realignments and just maybe like a misconception for anyone is that you are not going to get rich doing this straight away.
Yeah.
Like this is a labor of love.
It doesn't mean that you can't be wildly successful
No.
alone. It doesn't mean that you won't be wildly successful in your business.
Yeah.
But you have to know that you've got to lay a foundation, right?
We honestly just backed ourselves that much that we were
Yeah.
like,
It's all
this
confidence.
It's seriously like fake it till you make it.
We have one precious life,
Wow.
Yeah.
you know, and I think that balance is really important. What do you want to look back on?
Obviously, when you have a new business and people are coming to you, people in our town are very vocal about the fact that they can get it cheaper elsewhere.
Everybody is, but it's not the clientele you want.
A lot of hard conversations, a lot of conversations of being like,
You've got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Do you want to have it done every 6 weeks because it looks crap?
the point that we've kind of tried to come from the most, especially like in the dynamic that we're in the town that we're in, is like re-educating people, because a lot of that is just like they don't know until they know.
But I think just being really vulnerable and honest when the other one is struggling is so important and really healthy.
I would rather recommend my guest to somebody that I know is really specialized in what they are wanting than give it a crack myself and not have somebody that is completely happy.
The chaos is loud, but the love is louder.
Yeah, that's
And I just
true.
thought that was so nice.
Before we dive in, just a quick little love note from us. If this podcast has ever made you laugh, cry, think, or feel seen, please hit that subscribe button. It's the easiest way to keep the magic going, and it helps us land more incredible guests for you. Go on, back your girls, subscribe now, and let's keep rising together.
Welcome back to the Inner Sanctum, Salon Rising, the podcast. Good morning, Sam.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Got my emotional support protein shake today.
Oh, I feel like I need a large emotional support something this morning.
You really do.
I know.
You're a very sensitive Sal today.
I am a little bit of a sensitive Sally at the moment.
Yeah.
A lot. It's a lot.
But after Tiana's episode, I was like, can't exercise, but need to take care of myself. So
Yeah.
on the eating better.
I really like that you've taken that step and actually done something small and implementable.
Because generally I do nothing with it and then we just move forward.
Sometimes you go like, okay, we've just got to change everything.
Yes.
And then it's not sustainable. It's
not.
So
Just eating
good
better.
on you.
Thanks,
with
man.
Your smoothie
Thanks.
and your emotional support.
Also, smoothies.
Yeah.
To bring in our guest, because as I made this morning and each and every morning I think of you, there is a reason for this.
And not in a creepy way at all.
If
be
anyone is
creepy.
watching this, I'll see that our setup is a little different. Jen and I
Yeah.
are next to each other today.
Side by side.
Side by side, Jen.
The way it should be.
Richard was trying to get you out of the frame, but it's
I know.
fine.
What the hell?
All right,
Too sensitive.
go.
Go?
Yeah, you
Introduce? No.
Yes.
You introduce.
No, you do it.
I'm going to introduce the salon and then you guys are going to introduce yourselves, okay? So we're joined by a team of salon owners, which I think is really nice because we have spoken team before, but in a separate sense, team ownership. So the team owners from Blond Therapy are joining us this morning. So ladies,
Hi, guys.
Hello.
good morning. So we have
Tiffany.
And Phoebe.
Love that.
Yes.
Co-owners, love this. I don't know if we've had co-owner on, apart
No.
from the Hemborough sisters.
sisters, but that's sisters. Like this is why this sort of co-ownership is such a nice thing to delve into, I reckon.
Yeah.
So we met the girls actually at our
Embodied leadership.
embodied leadership with Kevin Murphy a couple of weeks ago, and loved them, loved what they were about. We
Became
had such a
besties.
great conversation, and that's why I laugh about smoothie because Phoebe was like, "Oh, I make smoothies every morning for my kids. I never make a smoothie for myself," and I was like, "Smoothies?
I should make a smoothie for
and then
myself.
I took my little form home that we all filled out, and Lee's like, why does it say smoothies on this piece of paper? And I was like, because that's what I need to start doing. And I did.
Look at you.
Emotional protein shake going
But it
on.
also shows practicing what you preach, right?
Absolutely.
And that's why those check-in
Have
points.
you had smoothies?
Yeah.
I've had smoothies.
Yeah.
I'm a smoothie
Yes.
gal too.
We
Okay.
are.
So we got the girls on. Obviously, we did leadership with them. And as we did it, there was so much positive that I could see.
Oh, it's such a cool
from a
dynamic.
coach
I really,
from
really
the
love
outside with what you guys were working
Oh,
through.
thanks.
So
It's
when
refreshing to hear.
It is refreshing.
so
How we appear.
tell us about you guys. How long have you had the salon? How did it come to be?
Sure.
Where is it? And also, I like this part of the story because there was a few things that really I actually coached on and spoke about you guys this week with some of my clients for these reasons that you guys will talk about. But yeah, I think you're doing very cool things. So
All right, Tiff, start from the
Right.
beginning.
So Phoebe and I met probably would you say 2 years ago now? We sort of started working
Maybe
together 3 years?
Yeah.
Something ages ago. We sort of started working together really randomly and impulsively in this small salon. And we were kind of working for ourselves, I guess. But the workspace that we were working in didn't really align with our values, and there were just a few troubles and difficulties. So we were like, let's just go out on our own and see what happens. We planned on just like sharing the space but working for ourselves, and then we quickly created this like really beautiful space and community and brand, and then now we're here essentially.
Yeah, definitely. I think like it started super organically. Tiff and I are individually quite strong-headed people. We're born on the same day, just 10 years apart.
Yeah, we actually have the same
I
birthday.
didn't know
Really
that.
well.
The same day, 10 years
Same
apart.
day.
Literally,
Yeah.
yeah. She's the old one, by the way.
Like, leave that to the imagination.
When you said that, I was like, I remember you saying when you said that, I was like, they're 10 years apart. How?
I know.
You both
Yeah, I
just
know.
like,
I don't know if that's a
Look,
compliment for me or you.
Yeah, I'm kind of offended.
no, we already spoke about this. It's because you don't present
She doesn't.
super young
She
and you
doesn't.
present young.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it feels
Yeah.
like it just balances it out.
We meet at like 26.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we individually, I never thought it was ever going to be a problem working
No.
side by side with Tiff. We'd obviously already had that experience together working in the cohesive space that we were in previously.
Yeah, I think we're a bit trauma bonded. To be perfectly honest.
Excellent.
Can you
and we
talk
just
about some of the
really-
trauma that was? Like, what are some of the things that made you think you needed to go out and design the space of your own?
Just like lack of stability, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lack of stability. We obviously, like in some circumstances, having owners of salons that aren't hairdressers like can work okay, but the one that we had, it just like wasn't really working. We just felt like overworked and undervalued, which is obviously something that so many hairdressers can say that they've felt throughout their careers. And I think more than that, it was the relationship that we form with our guests. We take that really, really seriously. We love being a part of their lives. We love being that safe space for people. And we just wanted to create that more on an intimate level with each other. We wanted to work one-to-one where it wasn't so much about how much money we could turn over, but more about the experience for our guest and also for ourselves, so that we just weren't working ourselves into the ground week in, week out, depleting ourselves completely of all the energy that we had and getting nothing from it, really.
So you were working for yourselves,
Yeah.
but
But
was it like a
yeah. So it was like a schedule. It was still, we were freelancers essentially for a business.
oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So all their booking systems and everything where we didn't have full autonomy.
Yeah, okay.
Over
Everything
all
was
of
still
that.
like run through that business.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just really tricky. It was
Yeah,
a really
it was
tricky
just tricky.
situation.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So Blonde Therapy was kind of born purely out of us having the same values and wanting, just honestly to begin with, we were like, oh, we just want it to be like a cute little cottage where we can just work for the rest of our days doing our own thing. And then we knew that we had something special within our like town. But it was probably within the first 6 months that we were like, holy mackerel, like this is not going to work, like just the two of us. We have now gone to working like 60-hour weeks, like 6 days a week. And we were like, oh,
This is not sustainable.
This is not sustainable. We're like, people just gained traction like so quickly, and it was beautiful to see. But yeah, that's when we kind of had to like have those tough conversations of like, what does this look like? What does success mean to me? What does success mean to Tiff? Like in the next like 5 years, like, is this something that is sustainable for us if we do take it further in getting staff and whatnot? It's just like lots of conversations.
Yeah. So initially you were almost like just sharing a lease, really.
Yeah, essentially
definitely.
that was the plan.
our whole.
We were like, oh my God, let's just be besties and work together forever, and that's it.
Yeah. Okay.
And not take any new clients and just like have our few and then go on with our lives. And then, it just grew so quickly that we were like, oh, can't sustain this anymore.
So I think the nice thing to talk about with it growing so quickly is the fact that you created something really different in the small town that you're in.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a conversation that we have a lot, right, with people. And they're like, you can't though because
you
of where I live.
cannot charge because of where I live. I hear
Yeah.
that all of the time. So then that's why I said I spoke about you guys this week, because I have so many people like, I can't charge that for AM. And I was like, you absolutely can. You just have to create a brand and
I
experience
think when you fill a hole
and a method that goes with that, you can absolutely charge, because people go, well, you can charge that.
You can't
live
if
on
you
the Gold
can't
Coast.
back it.
Yeah.
You know?
But if you
definitely.
guys are in a small town, you're in Ipswich, right?
Yeah.
We're
in
in
a
Ipswich,
small town, and you've created like this beautiful salon with the experience, with the socials that go with it. You're kind of creating that. So, anyone that's listening that goes, I'm in a small town, I can't charge. I'm like, what does it look like? Does it look like everybody else's, or does it look completely different?
Yeah.
Are you the same as, old mate next door, or are you creating like this space that looks Gold Coast? Are you creating, you doing what everyone else, like, are you doing what other people are doing in this industry and creating spaces that are super luxe and creating experience and having a socials that go with it, so that within your town you become that craze that people want to go to?
Yeah.
Because again, you look at different businesses that do that. For example, even though there's controversy around this person at the moment, that Brookie's Cookies, everyone makes cookies. She just exploded because she created it looked different from the outside, and she's created a social branding, and she's created, so now she's like gone gangbusters, because it's the same thing with Sabi.
Yeah.
They've created T-shirts, and everyone has T-shirts, but they've created a brand and who they are, and then all of a sudden there is this like mass following underneath. It can be exactly the same for our industry.
Yeah. Agreed.
Definitely.
So you guys had kind of built that. So what did that conversation look like when you're like, okay, we're going to become business partners then? Like, because that would have been a different step, right?
I think
we kind of like do things first and then have conversations about them as it's happening, to be honest. We didn't really
Don't recommend as a business coach. Don't recommend.
We're a little impulsive.
We're really impulsive.
We honestly just backed ourselves that much that we were like,
it's all
this
confidence.
It's seriously like fake it till you make it. We say that like every single day of our lives. In saying that, I obviously have more years on the clock when it comes to being in the industry than what Tiff does. But something that I've always super respected about Tiff is that she has always known her worth from a very, very young age in the hair industry. And that's something that she's taught me immensely. She was our real like leading girl when it came to, this is what we're charging, this is what we're doing, this is what we're creating. I was the one that was a little bit like, oh my gosh, can we do this in Ipswich?
When you went in, so you were both freelancing in the space together.
Yep.
Did you charge differently, or were you?
No,
did
we
you go
were
in
kind of
charging?
always
charged the same.
Yeah. And obviously I'm the numbers person, so I kind of know everything that we need to be making to be able to pay everything and be running as a profitable business. But it's also then like a lot of looking around, like we don't really pay much attention to what other people are charging.
No.
It's more just about like, but it is something that pops up. Obviously, when you have a new business and people are coming to you, people in our town are very, very cool about the fact that they can get it cheaper elsewhere.
Everybody is, but
And
it's not the clientele you want.
But to be
that's
honest,
the
like, are you
thing.
really going to get the same look at fucking Sally's Garage Salon?
Yeah.
That you are. When
And it's like at the end of the day, we are producing a quality product.
Yeah.
And I think like more of us need to be like happy in the space that we are really talented.
Yeah.
We are super talented. It's not just the foils and the haircut that goes into it. It's the
But it's not even like you think
ages.
about the foils and the haircut that it used to
Yeah.
be to the
Oh,
foils.
yeah, exactly.
You think
And,
about
like, that
color, like
takes time.
Man, I used to be able to chuck in a half head in 30 minutes.
100%.
You
Oh,
cannot
isn't
like
that wild?
it's
Yeah.
wild.
Like just thinking about that. I used to do a
Everything
full
that-
head in like 45
Yeah.
minutes.
Our girls
I'm like,
are not
bro.
none of
and
our
everything
guests,
that people want now, like all of the extras and all the bits and pieces. And
Yeah.
I want these ends and I want these brighter ends and I want
Yeah.
this like that and I want this like that. And look, most of the time I think, and again, I think if everybody knows, at least no one comes in and fights you on it because
Yeah,
you're like everyone
exactly.
already knows. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm very much, we have had this conversation, we quote before we start because I think it's important to do that. But even the other day, I had this beautiful new client who had a 6-week-old baby and she was just like, she was young and she had all our hair times 10 on her head and wanted to go like blonde with a lived in and stuff. And I'm like, I said to her, I'm like, I hope you know that this is not going to be cheap today. Like it's going to be exy. And it was $7.50
Yeah.
and it took me a kilo of bleach
Yeah.
and like, you know, probably 3 tubes of color plus it took me 3 hours to foil and I'm a fast foiler. So you've got to like,
Definitely.
it's almost like but she won't see me. She won't have to see me for another year.
Yeah.
definitely.
So it's like, is that $7.50 worth it in one
Yeah,
go,
definitely.
done, dusted,
So
out,
annoying.
finished, feeling amazing? And then in 12 months' time, you come back again? Or do you
Yeah.
want to have it done every 6 weeks because it looks
and
crap?
I think it's like changing that mentality. And
Yeah.
that's something that we've
It's also
worked really
so
hard
annoying
on.
because I feel like people, okay, you'll see your injectable for 30 minutes and they'll charge you $500
Yeah.
for a full face of Botox. But then like you sit in my chair for 6 hours and I feel bad charging you $500.
and I also feel bad that you've been here for 6 hours.
yeah, literally.
You're like, I'm so sorry you've been here so long, but also
Yeah.
this is all the things you wanted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I
exactly.
think like it's also which the point that we've kind of tried to come from the most, especially like in the dynamic that we're in the town that we're in, is like re-educating people because a
Yeah.
lot of that is just like they don't know until they know. And it's like re-educating our guests, re-educating our community on the fact that that's totally okay. There are so many places that will happily work for $200 for a full head of foils and that's fine. But we are not one of them. We take a lot of pride in like not one of our girls are doing like low lights, tip outs, root
Yeah.
stretches. Like it's so
like when is
complex.
it ever just
It's never
foils?
just
It's
a
not.
full
Never.
head of foils anymore. And that does set us apart. It sets apart our quality and that's what we want to be known for. And like we do have a kind of like our booking system and the way that we take on our guests. We do have
We
like
really filter out who we're taking on board.
I don't know
We're
how
really
to say
picky.
that. I don't know how to say that without it sounding like we are
No, we're really
discriminative.
picky.
No,
you know what I
no,
mean?
you're
It's like
discerning. You're
we are
discerning
about
Yeah.
what we do bring on board.
We
whether
focus on
it's-
what we
I think it's
specialize
more
in.
that you
We do.
also give everybody as much information as you can before.
Definitely.
It's like,
Yeah,
well,
we do.
you have
Completely.
everything
It's very
about what
in-depth.
it's going to be
Yeah, nobody
when
is
you come
walking
to
through
us.
our door
Yeah.
without completely understanding the length of their appointment, how much their appointment's going to cost, who's looking after them, the complexity of like how long they're going to be here for, like what's involved in it. And yeah, I think that's a really good way to put it. Like we are just passionate about what we're good at, what we specialize in. And so like us not taking on board like a pink color or something like that, that's not because we can't do it. It's because somebody up the road is way better at that than us. And that's not something that we want to put our energy into. And I think that's okay. Like we
Yeah.
don't have to be
And
like
people appreciate that.
they
Honestly
really
too.
do. Like we recommend our guests onto, why don't you go see so-and-so up the road? Or why don't you go see this person? Like
Yeah.
they're so much better at short haircuts than me. Or they're so much better. Like I would rather recommend my guests to somebody that I know is really specialized in what they are wanting than give it a crack myself and not have somebody that is completely happy.
And at the end of the day, they're a walking advertisement for our business, right? So I don't want someone walking around with blue hair and thinking that that's like
Our
something we
vibe.
something we
Because there's other people that want to
to
be known for that and that's okay.
Yeah.
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 Like I'd rather pass on the opportunity to someone who is probably better at it.
Yeah.
And yeah.
But so you mentioned before, so I'm the numbers person. So how do you divvy up between the two of you?
Yeah, so
who
that
is
was probably
what?
We're actually really lucky, I feel, because my weaknesses are Phoebe's strengths and then Phoebe's weaknesses are my strengths. So naturally, I feel like the roles sort of figured themselves out.
I think probably it probably took like about 6 months for us to get a good, I think number one is transparency.
Yeah.
Like 100%. This is not just a partnership. Like as much as we can make it sound fun, how we're like skipping into the sunset because we're so excited that we get to do a business together. There's like, it's a lot.
I'm gagging because that's actually what we would do.
It's like, it is a
We
lot.
put more work into our relationship than we do with our partners.
Seriously. It's a lot of work.
I remember
It's a
saying
lot
that.
of
I was like,
transparency.
I've seen, and how long have you been doing this for?
We've had the Salon 18 months.
Yeah.
So I'm like, guys, it's all good and hot and like 18 months in, you're in the honeymoon period, but
Definitely.
it's like that constant like keep pouring in,
Well, I
keep being
feel
transparent,
like we kind of ended
keep being
the honeymoon
open.
period really quickly because
Really
we got
quickly.
busy so fast.
Yes.
And a lot of hard conversations, a lot of conversations of being like,
You've got to get comfortable with
you've
being
got to get
uncomfortable.
comfortable. It's so yucky.
Oh, it's my favorite saying.
I actually think I heard it from you.
so
I feel
uncomfortable
like
at
you
the
may
moment.
have said that last Monday.
Yeah,
and
you
that's
need to
where
be
I'm like,
comfortable with being
She's just
uncomfortable.
hashtagged it for a
Jen
life
says
now.
that, but today she came in and there's
trademarking
two uncomfortable conversations she's got to have and she just refuses to have them.
That's
Oh,
fair.
I don't have to
Same.
have
I
them. There's
actually
just people making me feel uncomfortable. It's fine, guys.
I actually
It's
get
fine.
that. I need like 3 to 4 business days to process anything.
Yeah.
Jen's like, got to be comfortable with getting uncomfortable. I really
Here
don't
I
want
am,
to
But
get
today I
uncomfortable
am
right
not
now.
doing that.
No, I am uncomfortable. Really uncomfortable. But I'm still keeping moving forward.
What was I even talking about? I can't even remember. what
Talking
we were
about
talking
finding your roles early
Oh,
on.
yeah.
Hard
yeah.
conversations.
I think like also to just trust like that
Yeah.
is a huge one. Like you've got to put down your ego, you've got to put down your walls, you've got to put down like I truly believe that Tiff has the exact same intentions when it comes to the business as I do.
Yeah, you've got to be so vulnerable.
You've
I
got to
feel
be
like, with each
vulnerable.
other.
Like so Tiff does all of our social media, all of our content creation, all of our client relations, like
marketing.
everything, that side of everything, all our ordering, whatnot. And that's hard for me. I'm naturally a control freak. So having somebody like brand voice is huge for me. How we speak to guests is huge for me. So that's hard, having somebody else kind of like speak for me. But it's over time, it's like, just like she trusts me that everyone's paid and we're running at a profit and our money's being well spent. And you know what I mean? It's like that give and take. It's like that's a trauma for her because she didn't grow up in an environment where money was a safe thing. So that's something that she's really had to work super, super hard on to be able to have complete trust in me, like with all of that. And like I really struggle with just someone speaking on my behalf. That is something like that we've had to have awkward conversations
that
over,
makes
vulnerable
so much
conversations
sense, given
over.
some of the conversations we had earlier.
Yes.
That makes
so
so
it's
much
like,
sense.
but in knowing that I don't have the capabilities at my stage in my life, like my personal life is exceptionally busy.
Okay, so I love this. Let's tune
Yeah,
into
let's
this.
talk
So
onto this.
on top of all of this, like and how you guys run it, Phoebe, you have 4 children.
I have 4
Actually,
boys.
can't even deal with that.
Yeah.
You have
I do have
4
4 boys. They're 14, 9, 6 and 4. So they're very busy.
And Tiff has no kids.
I've
She
got
has-
dogs.
She has a
Dog mum.
golden retriever puppy, which I'm sure would
Oh my god,
have as much energy
He's
as my
probably
4-year-old.
actually just as expensive.
just
as expensive,
yeah, true.
if not more.
So yeah, that's where it's also, you know, I have
Because
gone
We're in very
that's
different
another, yeah, I was going to say that's another
completely
intricacy to
different
this
seasons,
because
definitely
completely different seasons.
completely
Yeah.
different seasons.
And as much as Tiff can like try and wrap her head around it, no one understands until they become a
No,
mum how hectic
definitely
that
not.
is.
Definitely.
But the most beautiful thing that I saw even when we were doing the coaching is one of the things you were struggling with is cutting back a late night. You were like, I
Oh,
don't know
and
how to
she's
do
my
it
biggest
and I can't.
advocate.
And Tiff's just sitting back quietly and then all of a sudden she's like, just do it. Like, and I was like, Babe,
She
you've got
is
the
on my
full
face.
support
She is so
of
annoying.
your business
I
partner.
know.
Why are you even considering it?
I
My business
know.
partner was like, cut back. I'd be like, see ya. Like,
She
yeah.
is. I'm definitely completely workaholic. Like I know that that's me. I know
are.
that that's like possibly like a more negative trait of mine is that I will.
I think it's one of your strengths and one of your weaknesses.
Yeah.
To be honest, I wouldn't say
Definitely.
it's a negative trait.
But it is
and it's a
something that I probably
new
need.
salon. And I
And
think that
it
it does
is.
taper off over time.
And then I have an annoying husband that's like, you go, you chase your goals, you do whatever. And I'm like, oh, sometimes I need someone to be like,
You need a
you
handbrake.
stay home.
Yeah.
You make the dinner.
Be a mum.
Seriously.
You hang out with me.
Seriously.
But Tiff has always been my massive advocate for doing too much. She's like, let me do that. Let me do that.
Yeah. I feel like the way I perceive this, like that situation is I don't know like what it's like to be a mum, obviously. And I never assume that I do or come from a place where I'm like trying to relate because I can't. But I can appreciate the fact that, okay, well, what can I do to support you? Because one day you're going to have to support me.
And that's what we always
Yes.
say.
And
Like this isn't forever. This dynamic isn't forever.
Yeah.
Just like a relationship has seasons, we know that the ups and downs of our business has seasons as well.
Definitely.
And while this is a season where I need a little bit more support on that end, we know Tiff is yet to come into a stage where she will need that kind of support because she does want to have kids one day.
I'm a sensitive gal. So I'm like taking the reins right now so that I can rely
It's
on
like,
Phoebe.
I'm laying the foundation. So
Just
like,
so you know.
remember,
Just so you
this
know,
is how we
remember.
do it.
I
Seriously.
make sure this is all tabbed down. Remember all the times that I would support you like a bitch.
This is probably why
Step
Cooper hasn't
up.
married me because we'll be getting a divorce when I have kids, I swear to God, because that I'm so sensitive. So I'm aware of the fact that I feel like also when we both go through personal challenges, they're always at different times.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Immediately.
And we're very open about that. Like if I'm having like a rough week,
yeah.
we'll chat about that
Yeah.
and she will like be like, okay, well, what can I take off your plate? I've got this to do. Even if it's just little things like organizing the salon groceries. Like I know that sounds so dumb, but
No,
when you
it
like
doesn't.
have clients
Yeah.
and guests,
It's
like
the little things.
it's just like dumb little things like that pile up on top of you.
It's the same at
I
home.
actually
in
need
a-
to put that on that list. Of
Yeah.
I need to do the salon groceries.
It's the same when you're at home. Like sometimes you're just like, I'm so tapped out. Please
Definitely.
just do
Yeah.
it.
Somebody
Like,
take
it's like
little
that
things
love
off me.
language of acts of service.
We're in a
100%.
marriage.
Yeah,
acts
we
of
are in a
service.
marriage.
We actually are.
me right now. Like please just like
Yeah.
make dinner
Seriously.
or do the groceries or
And just being honest as well, like I feel like as women, it's really hard for us to admit that we need help.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I
to be
think,
vulnerable.
yeah, and even like with each other, like I know that we can both struggle to let go because we both love control.
Definitely.
But I think just being really vulnerable and honest when the other one is struggling is so important and really
knowing
healthy.
like what do we always say, like that's just not going to be my hill to die on. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's just like, you know,
Choosing your
what,
battles.
there's some things that Tiff is really really passionate about when it comes to the salon and our vibe and our brand, and there's some things that I'm really passionate about, and so we stand firm in those things if we feel like the other person maybe isn't giving in to those areas as much as we need to for our brand to work cohesively. But the rest of it, we're just like, yeah, I'm happy for you to make the decision.
Yeah.
We just like had to sign off on a collab the other day and she's like, do you want blah, blah, blah. I was like, no, I trust you. Like I trust that whatever like it's not like we have to micromanage each other's thing. But I think that does just come with that like letting go of control
Letting go,
a little bit.
yeah.
Definitely. Like it just, you can't have your finger on everything all the time. Like you've just got to be like I said before, I know that Tiff wants Blond therapy to be a certain way, the same that I want it to be a certain way. And I just trust that she'll lead with that and vice versa.
Have you had anything that you've really come to loggerheads on?
Sorry, what was that?
Like, was there anything that you guys were like in the deep trenches, like it's going to take us a while to work through this one, like you were
I feel
opposing?
like we
She'll
when
probably
we-
remember more than I do because I
Here we
forget
go.
things.
You
She'll
got-
get a book out. What day? What day? She'll get a receipt.
I feel like when we have a problem that's come up more than twice, we just eliminate it. Like, for example, we both have different money traumas. So and that was coming up a couple of times and we just kind of hit it on the head.
I think money is a big one. So when you come into this space, when you're wanting to work together as a team, we knew that from, you know, just from researching different things and from like educating ourselves on like partnerships and all the rest of it, money is number one why everything falls apart.
Yeah.
And like realistically,
definitely.
when isn't it?
It's money and it's money and time.
Money and time is just when everything falls apart. And so we've always been really, really conscious of having that at the forefront and having like we go to all of our accountants meetings together. Like we have full transparency through everything. Probably the only thing that we have struggled with was because we still both work on the floor. Full time, majority, full time. Was obviously we did go through a period where we were both cutting the same wage from the business every week, but that looked different. There was some weeks where I could only show up for like 2 days because I had sick kids or I had this or I had that, and then
That's where
it started. The only friction we've had was where we're like, do we need to pay attention to this because it needs to be fair and we need to feel financially rewarded for the time and effort that we're putting into the business.
Because it's not just on the floor. It's everything. It's all the
everything
socials you're doing. It's all your finances and payroll that you're doing. Like,
and that's the
and
thing.
it's easy when you when you aren't in a partnership, it's easier just to be like, well, that's my money.
Exactly.
And it comes with the pros and cons, right? Like listening to you now, I'm like, Jen, just wrap this all up, have one salon together, just be best friends and ride off in the sunset. But then
come on, Jen.
But then on the other side, it is, you know, the financial, I don't have to discuss my finances with anyone. That's just what it is.
Exactly.
And the money stuff just comes into
definitely
the tricky
and it
part
was
of it.
okay before we had staff.
Yeah.
Before we had staff, different. Because we were making our own money.
Yeah.
We would cut ourselves a wage. We'd make sure the business had everything that it needed and we're on our way. But when we got busier and busier, we started bringing on staff. We started doing extra things. We had like an awesome little like hat. We bought out some like, what do you call that? Merch. When we just started like growing and the business was obviously turning over more money. That's when we were like, well, hang on a minute. Like we need to like pay more attention to this so that it doesn't become yucky.
So what did you do?
So essentially we are almost back like freelancing.
Yeah.
So we freelance. It's a weird dynamic,
Like
but it works for us. You just got to find what works for you.
Yeah, you have your staff that work for the business and then
Blond
you
therapy.
two freelance.
So we keep everything separate essentially.
And we have just really we've tried everything.
Yeah, we have.
There's nothing we haven't tried. But we are so passionate about the fact that we love each other outside of Blond Therapy. Like I know that Tiff will be a part of my life for a very long time. We have a very special connection and money is gross and we never want that to be something that comes between us. So basically the way that we've managed it now is that Blond Therapy is its own entity. The girls work under Blond Therapy. We pay a invoice to Blond Therapy weekly, almost like a rent-a-chair situation.
Yeah.
And then we work for ourselves as sole traders. So if I need to have 2 weeks off because it's school holidays, I don't take any clients for those 2 weeks and I don't get paid. Well, obviously, like I can pay myself from my sole trader. And then while we're still young, all of Blond Therapy's money will stay within Blond Therapy. And then when the day comes that we're able to start, we want to draw from that, it's always there. But while we are doing things that we're doing now, we just feel like I could go in and work and do 50 clients a week and that would be my own money and Tiff could do the same. You know what I mean? There's none of that like ill of like, oh, but I worked 5 days this week and you only worked 2 days this week.
Because that's something we've definitely seen be a breakdown in partnerships.
Definitely.
So
and you know
really
what? Like
smart.
I know that sounds like
it sounds complicated.
It sounds complicated.
No, that's how I see most people doing it. Otherwise, it's too
yuck.
messy.
And then
It's
everything
It's not just like a job where you're both just doing 38 hours.
It's yucky.
Yeah.
And it's even difficult explaining to accountants and stuff. Like, because they're like, oh, I don't know about that because then you're paying this. And it's like, honestly, we don't care. This is just how it works.
It's what's going to work for us.
It's what's going to work for us long term. We, and And then whatever we do behind closed doors, like for the business, is just the sacrifices we make for having a business.
Yeah.
Which I feel like is pretty even.
And then
Yeah, I feel
over
like it
time
is.
that builds up.
It
You
does.
both can take a portion out of
Exactly
it. You know,
right.
like sweet, let's keep
But I
building these
feel
profits.
like
And
that needs to
you know,
not
if
be
there's
the goal.
50K profit there and you don't need to,
Definitely.
you know, you can halve that.
And it honestly
stuff like
just
that.
churns itself over and we don't like have to think about it. But I think like one of the biggest realignments and just maybe like a misconception for anyone is that you are not going to get rich doing this straight away.
Yeah.
Like this is a labor of love. And if you think that going out on your own and even building this brand, like this is like so much work for very little gain. I think like it's so easy for people to be like, oh, but those girls are charging like $600 for a full head of foils and like, oh, they must be rolling in it. It's like, no. No. Like it's definitely a labor of love and it's like day after day showing up, sometimes not even pulling a wage at all because the business has needed more from you that week.
And it's because too, like the salons aren't cheap to run. They're not a cheap. It's not like
I remember
it's not
being
like
an
you become.
employee.
It's not like you being a therapist and you're like, I rent a room and I charge $300 for an hour.
Must be nice.
Like that's where the money is at. The amount of things that we need to have and how it just keeps increasing over time. Like I want a cocktail service. I want a
Seriously,
coffee.
the
My
overheads
tea
are like never
services.
ending.
Like all of the things. Like all of the overheads, all the insurances, all the product.
Definitely.
It's so expensive to run.
so expensive.
I think this is why we have that statistic that you know, the fall of solo businesses under that 18-month mark, because it's that it doesn't mean that you can't be wildly successful alone. It doesn't mean that you won't be wildly successful in your business. Yeah. But you have to know that you've got to lay a foundation, right? Like
I
you
think
have
the
to know that there's
18-month
that
mark
hard
is
bit.
too, is because after the 12-month mark, that's when you start getting taxed.
Yeah.
You know, like for the first 12 months, you
and
don't.
everyone's like, I'm out.
For the first 12 months, you
Fair.
kind of don't get, they don't know what your pay-as-you-go installment's going to be.
Yeah.
No.
So you don't get charged that. And then all of a sudden they're like, nope, way more. And you're like,
Hate
And
on.
taxes
Wait a
too.
minute.
Fuck?
And that's a whole nother side of it that it's like
Yuck.
we
I can't even talk about it.
have found like a great accountant that we
actually hate
love.
it.
And I think that's my only advice is just finding a really good accountant.
oh, I
and
just I
blocking
spoke
it
to
out.
mine this morning on the way here and I was just like, just email me and just tell me all the money.
Seriously.
Just
Seriously,
send
it's
it
just
through,
gross.
just whatever. Let's
Yeah.
just move on and pay for it and just
The more you make,
And it's not, they don't make it easy either. They make
No.
it so hard.
yeah.
definitely.
Not accountants, sorry, the tax
Tax
department.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
accountants make it easy. Tax department makes it everything so difficult
Yeah.
and
And
confusing.
everyone does it so
We're just
differently.
girls who like doing hair,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
Leave us alone.
Just let us keep our money.
Seriously.
We like doing
We're
hair
too
and buying
pretty to
things
pay
from
taxes.
Dish. Let us keep our money. But it is that massive realization. Like, again, we're sitting here in my salon and I look up, I'm like, all right, I need to get the broom and I need to broom that. I need to make sure
There's
the washing's
constantly
on.
something.
I need
Yeah.
to make sure the hooks are on. So, like, yes, the idea of having a partner sounds very nice because
It is nice.
It's
We
It
love
is
each
if
other.
you're okay to get down and dirty with being vulnerable.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, we're very down and dirty.
Sorry.
that's not on the menu at Blond Therapy.
No, I'm just kidding.
But yeah, and then I think like then going into like having staff, then that took like we definitely weren't ready for that in the first 12 months.
No,
We're probably
I
a
feel
bit
like
too sensitive to take on staff. We
Yeah.
honestly didn't ever
But
even
you
want to
did
have
take
staff.
on staff within the first
We
12
were 12.
months,
We
didn't you?
just clocked 12 months.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah. We
and
just
to be
clocked 12
honest,
months.
we sort of like grazed the idea a couple of times, and then I think we went forward with posting ads and stuff maybe 3 times, and each time there
we didn't
was
even
just
have a
gut
seek ad.
feeling.
We were just like we're just very organic about it. We were really scared, to be honest. It was
It's really hard to find good hairstylists in our town, if I'm being honest. So I think
with the same there's probably plenty of good hairstylists, but just like with the same
Values.
that
Yeah.
we had for Blond Therapy.
Yeah.
That was huge for us, and we honestly were not willing to compromise our reputation for the fact that we could have some extra help or have, somebody else. Like it was just something that we were really willing to wait on. And I think by doing that, we were able to like manifest long enough that we could bring in the girls that applied.
So what did you end up bringing on first?
We kind of brought them both on at once.
Oh,
We were
okay.
only planning
So
on hiring one person, and then the other one kind of like fell out of thin air like an angel and just planted herself in our laps. And we're like, I guess we'll take you too.
We needed somebody. We do a lot of blonde transformations. It's probably what we're known best for. They're obviously very time consuming and take a lot of like a certain skill set to be able to do. So the first girl that we brought on board was a local girl who's just beautiful, but she's fresh out of her apprenticeship. So our goal for her was to kind of like train her up in our methods, transformations and whatnot for her to take on that.
Well.
She is. She's a nat. She's one of those girls that you can just tell her one thing and she's like off and doing it. It's just like amazing.
You just can't teach talent.
You can't teach talent like that. It's hard to find. And then we are probably about a week after we had hired her, we had a girl more my age approach us. She was a little bit like apprehensive about leaving where she was, but wanted just something a little bit closer to home and whatnot. And she has a lot of talent.
She's very talented.
Yeah, has a wealth of experience in 3 different places that she'd been through. So we had a really organic conversation with her. And that transition was nearly close to 3 months because we didn't want her to rush where she was. And our goal then kind of mixed around a little bit. We knew that we kind of wanted the older one because she would already have the more experience and we could pop our really harder guests, new clients in with her and she would be able to handle that really quickly. And then Alira, our younger one, was kind of then shifting to take on the excess load that we had that we couldn't keep sustaining. So that was like really meant to be.
Oh yeah, what a great setup. That's
it was
perfect.
amazing.
Really good.
So yeah, our younger one, she's super, super talented and like even now has new guests coming in with her all the time because she didn't take long to jump on her feet. But Alera was amazing because she was able to take on a lot of, we just kept, obviously, when you're growing a business, we just kept taking and taking and taking last year because it was like, oh, wow, like people are really
They like
loving
us.
this.
Oh my God.
They like us.
Oh
They
really like us. And then we're like, oh, we literally can't keep doing that. We don't have apprentices either. So it was literally us all the time doing everything. That Alira has been brilliant to be able to like safely take on that excess of client base. And then Emmy works with majority like all of our new guests that come on in. And she's a wealth of knowledge, so she's great to be able.
She's really good at that.
Yeah,
she's got the personality,
such a
to
safe
be able to do
personality
anything.
that people feel really trusting with her straight away. The dynamic that has come out of it has been something that we could literally have only like manifested.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was exactly how, and we are very, very like conscious of the fact that it's super unique that would happen.
So when you say you weren't ready because you were too sensitive to get stuff, so talk to.
I reckon it's probably also like back to that getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. I think that we still needed to have those conversations as well.
We needed to get more uncomfortable with each other.
Like be more vulnerable to each other. And then once we had done that, I feel like all of the stars sort of aligned for us.
Definitely. I think like it was about just knowing that we were still on the same page with everything.
Getting on the same page.
And us
well.
being like a united front, especially now that we are kind of in the salon. We probably only work one day together. We kind of like move back and forth. And just learning like our own language so that we're always like still coming across as united as well. A lot of the time if things pop up or questions are asked, we'll just say like, oh, let me get back to you. I'll check with Tiff, or just so that we're not ever feeling like we're taking the reins.
Like playing off mum and dad against each other.
And just little things like that, just so that we can cohesively stay on the same page. And then we have like a Friday morning coffee with the girls so that we can just like all have like an organic chat and talk about anything that might have like popped up. And usually on a Monday we'll send through like with our group message, we'll just send through like a few housekeeping things from the both of us just to like keep on top of everything.
So is your Friday morning coffee the meeting that you're not allowed to call a meeting?
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
meetings make people feel anxious.
Makes it
Meetings
want to
make
vomit.
me want to cry. I hate meetings.
I said to her the other day, why don't you we have a few changes coming in the next month. And I said to her last week, why don't you do Friday morning? Because you're so capable. And she's like,
do.
oh, I feel like vomiting. Can you sit beside me?
But I did it and it was
She
great.
did. She felt great.
I struggle with being a boss because I feel like in my mind, I'm so young. So I feel like I cling to Phoebe because she's just naturally got this like aura about her that,
Bossy aura.
yeah.
Same.
But I did it and it felt good. And I
We've
feel
had
like
that
I'm not
conversation
insecure
about
anymore.
you not getting in your head about your age, though.
I know.
I know.
You're not going to
And
get in your head
I
about
feel
your
like
age,
it's
and I'm going to do
helped.
the same.
It's actually crazy.
But I'm at 21.
I'm actually 26. So.
You are.
It's so funny because I feel like I used to work in Brisbane before working in Ipswich, and I remember in Brisbane, like people just respected you. Like you didn't matter how old you were, like they just had so much respect for you. And then when I started working in Ipswich, like it was such a shift. Like I don't know, I felt
It's
like
very clicky.
it's very clicky, and there were like a few people that would kind of talk down to me where I would be like if someone would come in and I'd be like, oh, I don't really feel comfortable doing that today. And then they would just kind of like be like, well, you're going to do it. And then, but Phoebe would come over and be like, oh, no, we're not doing that. And they'd be like, oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's very
Like just like little
yeah.
comments and like the way that people hold themselves around me when.
Or they'd directly be like, how old are you? You don't look old enough to be doing
Yeah.
this well. Like they're very direct.
Yeah,
Very
it's weird.
direct.
It's a weird thing out
Yes.
there actually.
It's like, and how old are you? And how are you this old and
Yeah.
don't know
Yeah,
how to
like,
manage
when
what is
did you do
socially
your
appropriate to say to
apprenticeship?
someone?
Exactly.
But I'm learning. I feel like I'm getting better at it. And I feel like the conversation that we had with you guys as well has just really resonated with me. And I've taken a lot from that as well. And me carrying the team meeting, guys,
Life-changing.
it seems like such a small thing to anyone. But like in
not.
my
Huge
mind,
steps.
I
It
feel like I
is.
walked out with like just this abundant, what am I trying to say? This huge confidence.
Yeah.
which was
Good.
And I
Yeah.
think sometimes just hearing that from someone outside of like your immediate circle.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
for sure.
Yeah. It's like I
Yeah.
could tell you that till the cows come home, but like
Literally.
having somebody looking from the outside in being like, no, you are capable of this.
Yeah. It's
It's
helped.
has definitely helped.
Love that.
I love it too. Is it so sensitive? It's like, I got that from you guys chatting. It's like, I cry.
Cry.
Podcast over.
All right, Jen.
We need to get you in.
All right, sensitive Sue. You're okay.
We all have those days. If
Yeah.
it makes you feel any better, I actually spent 8 hours making this brisket yesterday, and I made my partner try it, and he was like, "Oh, it's okay," and then I burst into tears.
Yeah, I totally would burst into
The
tears
dinner.
after that as well.
Yeah, I'm like, "What do you
It's
mean?
an
It's
8-hour
okay?"
brisket and it's
I know,
okay.
right?
It's an 8-hour
like
brisket.
crying.
You better be on your hands and knees begging for more.
Oh, seriously. But seriously, he's such a.
He's not
smart
afraid
ass.
enough of you.
He's not afraid of me. He's not.
Ladies, hear that? Partners need to be afraid.
They
Just say you like the brisket.
Worship me, bro. I just
little-
made you dinner, bitch.
It only took 9 hours, but it's all
A
good.
small amount of fear is healthy.
Yeah.
In
In
any
all areas.
relationship.
They've got to be comfortable with getting
God.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Seriously.
So what changes are you bringing in?
Oh my gosh.
We're Kevin Murphy girlies.
We're Kevin Murphy girlies.
Through and through.
We're so
we
excited.
talk about this. We talked about this when we Kevin Murphy, if you're listening.
Well, after our little,
But we talked about this because
did.
it wasn't just about, we weren't talking specifically about product. We were talking about
No.
The relationships.
the relationship,
The
and
relationships,
how important
the
that
values,
was. Yeah.
like
Yes.
what we want to
Huge.
stand for and
Huge.
everything. And I feel like after that, we both had this huge, I don't know, like we just really were like, okay, what do we want to stand for?
Yeah.
What are our values
Yeah.
and
We'd
what do we
worked
need to
really
implement?
hard getting those as like a brand. So when people like look at Blond Therapy, whether they come into the salon, they look at our Instagram, or even the way that like the girls carry themselves throughout life. We've worked really hard at that, but we're like behind closed doors. now that we have this beautiful space and this beautiful business, what do we want to align with? What businesses are going to help us provide the best for our clients, the best for us? I mean, you're spending in a copious amount of money monthly
seriously.
on stuff, on
And the
stock and
support
whatnot.
is just so unmatched. Like I've been working with Kevin Murphy since I was a first year apprentice, and like I could not fault their support at all.
Definitely. And that was something that we were really craving. Also just working with a brand that is so transparent from beginning to end. We love the low tox initiatives that they have. Everything really. It was something that is a lot more talked about than the other brands that we'd been working with. I mean, it's 2025, guys. Can we just not test on animals anymore?
Yeah,
Seriously. Oh my God.
Literally
Guys, I actually
2025.
can't even deal because I literally thought testing on animals was like putting blush on my dog. Like I'm not even kidding.
She's like, that'd be fun, right? It'd be fun for them. I was like,
I didn't know
not the
that it was
same.
like completely
they're not
so
they're
bad.
not blow drying products into their hair. She's like, it'll be like a spa day, right?
Ignorance
I'm like,
is bliss.
no.
Seriously.
Come in.
She's like, why is that such a big deal? The testing on animals thing. I was like, it's really bad
My
for
dog
them.
would love a blow dry. They're actually getting a haircut right now. So
With Kevin Murphy. No.
ignorance truly is bliss sometimes.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
For you. For you. Then I come in with
This
the
is where my age
bulldozer.
shows,
I
guys.
come in with the bulldozer and tell you
Seriously.
all the home truths. But yeah, we're really, really excited to partner with Kevin with our products. We've always used
Retail.
retail.
Yeah.
retail.
Yeah.
But yeah, colour. Really excited. Obviously we do 98% of our work is blondes.
Feel free to just hit a sister up when you need some help.
Oh,
We will.
We will.
Yo, what's this formula? Yo, what's that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
what do you
actually
do?
do best friends. So
We have been using the
100%.
lightener in Salon for the last month.
lightener
because that
is
was our biggest thing. That
Insane.
we wanted
The lightener's
to
insane. Once you
transition.
start using, like for me,
Also
that
just
was
the
us too.
smell.
We used the
Yeah, the
lightener
smell is beautiful.
for
I
a really
miss
long
the
time
smell.
before we even used the whole range.
Yeah.
And I just
Yeah.
love it.
It just doesn't feel
Ultimate is just
I'm
heaven.
obsessed.
It just doesn't feel so like
I can like
aggressive.
I can like actually talk and have a conversation when I'm pulling out someone's foils rather than like die
getting
from the
hit in the
fumes.
face with fumes.
And
Seriously.
your nose stops bleeding. My
Yeah.
nose was always bleeding.
Really?
Really?
No
Yeah.
way.
Like when I blew my nose, it was always like,
That is
Oh
Blood.
my gosh.
You are a sensitive person.
For anyone's watching,
Yeah.
We're,
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah,
Jen and I are the same.
kindred
And
spirits.
Phoebe and Sam are the same.
Tiff and Jen.
Seriously.
Tiff and
Could you
Jen.
imagine
Jen.
us running a
Podcast.
salon together? It would crumble. It would actually crumble.
You
We'd be
have the
crying all the time.
conversation.
You do it.
You do it.
Tiff has actually been known. I think given the opportunity,
I'm
she would
dying.
even do it to this day. So when a rep comes in, we've had
Oh my God.
plethora of reps
Hide
come
in the back room.
from having
I don't
our.
even do that.
From
Do you pretend
when we
that you're
first
not the owner?
Yeah,
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 I
me,
do.
I
She
do that.
literally
you.
stands there and goes, "Hey, I'm so sorry, our owner's not in today." I'm like,
And then they look at me. They look at me as if like
They've
okay.
seen you on
fucking know.
socials. They know.
like,
I'm
bitch,
like,
we know you were in this
oh my
place.
God.
I do that.
It's the best.
I'm like, oh, reps come in, out the back I go. And then I just hide there and
Seriously.
watch the cameras.
Unless it's anyone from Oz.
There's cameras out the back. I just watch
Yeah.
the cameras until
Carly.
Seriously.
Or anyone from Ozster,
Carly
it's different.
from Ozster, love her.
beautiful.
Shout out to
She's
Carly.
so
She's the best
beautiful.
person in the world.
Anyone from Ozster, I will
And
walk out. They will
seriously.
walk out the back and find me.
Yeah.
But anyone else, I'm just like, oh, someone's cut.
I
Or I'll be
know.
out the back and the girls will be like,
Yeah.
that looks like a rep. Don't go out the front.
But, you know, we have had, well, even when we worked back, this is my 18th year hairdressing.
Oh my God.
I know.
That makes you sound really old.
Really gross. I've obviously worked with lots of different brands. Another reason why we love Ozster so much is that the rep that we have been working with, Carly, for the last time, she has been like, never ever do you get a brand that's like, what can I do for you? Like,
She
I
has
am
quickly
here.
become like a good friend of ours. I'd say.
Definitely.
Like, she's
and just
so
such a
beautiful.
support, being like, what are your goals for this year? How can I help you achieve them? Like, that is huge when it comes to,
Shout out to Ozster Rep Program.
yes,
Seriously.
and the girls but that's huge. That's what you look for because, like,
Yeah.
we don't know what the fuck we're doing.
Also, their staff are always there forever. And I feel like that speaks volumes about a brand, doesn't it? When you can hold your staff.
Definitely. But yeah, just being able to have those really vulnerable conversations with her as well, and just feeling so much support from her, even like the transition that we're making from our current colour brand over to Kevin Murphy, the support has been like unmatched.
So beautiful.
They're slowly transitioning it so the girls don't feel like upset
Overwhelmed.
or like overwhelmed.
Same.
They're like, let's just like so Tiff
Same,
doesn't
because
feel
I
it.
actually need a week to process any sort of change.
Just everything is just they're like, what more can I do? I'll come in, I'll do this. Like
they're just so willing.
yeah,
to do
so
anything.
willing to just like above and beyond. It's not just like box it up, ship it out, Google the mixing ratio and on your way. The support has been unmatched. So I think partnering with brands that really align with your values and align and offer the support that you need is unmatched as well.
You did this to us.
Oh, thank you.
You guys actually did this to us.
You made us Oddsdare minions.
Seriously, we probably
Let's
should
continue
give you
to
a cut.
provide the support. Otherwise, we're a little left here. They're going to come for us, but we feel the same. So that's why it's easy for us to do it because the support is incredible and
The support is incredible
from the top.
Yeah,
you know,
let me
you
tell
can
you
literally
from
from the top
experience,
see.
definitely
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
Love that. All right, last piece of wisdom before we get off. What is a peak and a pit of you guys have found of having? What's something that's been like, yuck, we'll never do that again, and what's something that's like,
that's a
oh,
good
I
question.
recommend this.
I feel like maybe a peak is definitely seeing our growth. A peak is seeing people come into our space that like is an exact representation of what we wanted to attract.
What you wanted to,
Yeah.
That is a peak where it's like, oh, you know, we just have attracted like all
The
of
energy in our
those
salon.
energies and those guests, and they're just like, we honestly, truly just love and value them.
Yeah.
A pit would probably be, I think every single time that we have struggled with something or it hasn't worked out for us is when we've listened to the wrong people.
I actually
like with the
second
noise,
that. Yeah.
the noise of like
When we've gained
people
an
are
outside
very,
opinion.
very people
I
become
know, I'm listening to the noise at the moment. I get it.
people become very when they see that you're becoming successful.
Jen, are you listening to this?
I feel like when people
You just
see
need to
that you're
trust yourself.
becoming successful, they're like, oh, you guys should do this. Or you should do that. Or you should do this. Do you know what you guys are missing? You guys are missing this. And I think sometimes when you're in that growth period, you're like, oh, maybe I should. Or maybe,
and I think
maybe
also being
like,
that comes with being open to trying new things, which is great.
we
But
are open to trying new things all the time.
There
but I
has been
think
things where we're like,
sometimes-
I just wish we listened to our gut with that.
Yeah, there's been things that have been difficult to get off the ground. And I
Yeah.
think that was probably a sign that we just should have
Not done it.
not done that.
Yeah,
definitely.
And I
And
feel
come
like
back to your why and your purpose.
Come back to our why.
It's the same thing when
Definitely.
you were like, do we change over? I'm like, what's your why and what's your purpose?
Yeah.
Exactly right.
It's the same thing when you look at other things. What's my why and what's my purpose? Because
Exactly.
it's really
Yeah.
easy, even when you've been in business. I've been in business for 15 years.
Yeah.
You go, oh, someone else doing this better. Like, are they're doing
Definitely.
that. Should I be doing that? Am I going to fail
Definitely.
this?
Definitely.
Do you want to
Am
do
I
that?
becoming
Yeah.
irrelevant because
Yeah.
I'm not doing that? And then you just
Yeah.
go, hold on, I got to just stay true on to who
Definitely.
I am and what that
Definitely,
looks like.
yeah.
And it's like, you know, we always talk about like our what success means to us as individuals. And it's like it doesn't necessarily always mean like that next thing. Like, oh, I've got the salon now, so I need
And
to
that
develop
comes
a
with being a
product or I need to do
Capricorn
this.
too.
or
I
need
feel like
to,
we're always
yeah,
on
we have
to
to chill
the next
ourselves
thing.
a lot because being
need
Capricorns,
to
we will
calm
like
down.
work ourselves to the death. But it's like, okay, realign. What's our focus? What do we need from this?
I always and I have had, as you guys have already from the conversations we had before we started this, lots of life experience.
Yeah, agree.
And I definitely do come back to that quote of like, we have one precious life,
Well,
Yeah.
you know, and I think that balance is really important. What do you want to look back on,
Definitely.
you know,
Seriously,
on your
'cause
deathbed
what's it
one
all
day
for?
and go, well,
Yeah.
I'm really grateful
Yeah.
for that,
Yeah.
or I'm really grateful for that, or
definitely.
you know, and I think it helps realign even when things feel hard.
Definitely.
It really helps to realign you and go, okay, well, this happened and that kind of felt a little bit stingy, but from this grew, or from this
Definitely.
I was able to like love this person for that period of time,
Definitely.
or, you know, this came from it. And I think that's really important to go like, what are we, and especially when it
Definitely.
comes to being in hair and beauty, it's like, and when you talk about your clientele, you know, we're not going to look back and be like, I'm so glad I nailed that balayage, but we're going to look back and be like, I'm so glad that I had that, developed that relationship,
Connection.
that loved
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
person,
Definitely.
you know, because that is still the foundation of everything for me.
Yeah.
Foundation of everything.
Yeah.
And that's why we do what we do. It's
Yeah.
like we just so happen to be really good at hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But our number one is that we're creating this safe, beautiful place for people. You know, we might be the only person in somebody's life that they feel comfortable enough to have
Yes.
those really sacred conversations with. And that is something that I will always value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And something that we really instill in the girls in the forefront of like our business is like before you even talk about what service they're having done today, it's how are you?
Check in.
Yeah.
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 What have you been up to?
Be
Like, I
present
don't
in that
care if that
moment.
takes like a 10, 15-minute conversation for them to feel that connection with you before you even begin to talk about why they're here. It's like just providing that relationship with them, which is another huge reason why we work one-to-one. Like, yes, we could probably make triple the money that we're making if we didn't, but that's not our intention. Our intention is to have that one-on-one sacred space that that person can come and have our full attention for that 3 to 4 hours, and that's it.
Yeah.
Love it.
I love that. Oh, thank you so much, ladies. This has been
Of
great.
course, we love you guys.
It has been fun.
I feel
It's
like
so good.
we're gonna have separation anxiety because we've seen each other twice in the last
I
week.
know. It's like, is it a monthly catch up now? Do we do Friday coffees?
Basically,
I
we're
don't
coming back
know.
next week.
Yeah. Basically, this is where
There's
yeah.
a group chat for
But
me.
again, like this is what Jen and I talk about. It's just that life is so busy about how
Yeah.
important
Yeah.
community is. And that's
Oh,
why
I
we
know.
love doing
Yeah.
events and meeting people because
And I
it's-
love women supporting women.
Yes.
It's so rare.
100%.
Which
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
so annoying. Like, why are we all like that?
We've
to be honest.
we're taught, I always like loved this thing that I heard where it's like we're taught as women that there's only like one seat at the table.
Yeah.
it's
Where
really
like
bad.
anyone can bring their seat. Like there's plenty of room. Plenty of room.
And everyone has a different place and does something different and brings
Yeah.
something different to the table. And I don't know why it's so hard as women for that to just be celebrated.
Yeah,
as well.
agreed.
Like, so it's so
Definitely.
nice to find.
And I think
like-minded
at the end of the
people.
day, all it does is when that support's not there, it's just an insecurity and we need to look
100%.
internally.
Yeah, definitely.
What are they doing better than me that makes me feel really shitty right now?
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
why I
You know,
can't,
it's like
yeah,
it's
celebrate that.
instead of that tall poppy syndrome and tearing someone down.
Definitely.
What are they doing right now that actually makes me feel like I'm not
Yeah.
doing enough?
Yes,
Like how are they doing
exactly.
it? Like
Why is that triggering for me?
why is that triggering
Yeah.
for me?
Yeah,
What can I do to do
definitely.
things differently, or where are they at? Where are their seasons and things like
Yeah,
that?
definitely.
And also, if you went and lived a day in their shoes, you'd also see that they're also just as messed up as
Oh
you are.
my gosh.
Oh
I
my
can't
God.
even tell you the
And we're
amount
all
of
learning.
people that sit in my chair and they're like, how do you have 4 kids and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, if you saw inside my brain,
Yeah. Or in
Yeah,
my house.
It
you
actually
would not be thinking that I had it all together. Tiff
can't
sees
even
inside
deal.
my brain and she's
Oh
like,
my God.
I'm overwhelmed.
I am overwhelmed. I go over there like, and I'm like, oh my God, I actually need to leave because I'm so overstimulated. Love you, love the kids. but
Get me the hell
fuck
out of here.
Yeah, I need to go home to my peaceful
Work is
life.
definitely
I
my
do.
sacred space as well.
I do.
I come there to like, it's just like so nice to just
It's
have
so-
this other version of
Yeah,
myself.
I feel like it's so good that you started young, hey, because the more I get through life, I'm like to Cooper, oh my God, we need to have kids soon. Or
I'm gonna talk
we're gonna
myself out of this
ourselves
completely.
out of this because we're too comfortable with just the stillness of our life.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Just a little drop of chaos.
Yeah,
Actually,
Just a
I'm like,
tiny
oh.
little-
It's not like Mother's Day was yesterday, mate. It's not still. At one point, I was like, yeah, I'd love a sleep in. And then all you can just hear is
Yeah, you're like,
like one of the kids wants to make me a coffee. So they're like smashing the coffee.
Oh, you're
so
like,
to get the
wow.
coffee thing out so they can grind more coffee. And then Lee's doing it. And then they started wrestling. And I was like, so relaxing.
Zen.
guys.
Seriously.
So relaxed.
You
know
know
what I
though?
want for Mother's Day? None of you.
Yeah.
Seriously.
actually,
Actually,
I
your
actually have a funny
girlfriend
meme about
posted
that, but I think it's
some Mother's Day photos yesterday, and her caption was, "The chaos is loud, but the love is louder."
yeah.
And I just thought that was so nice.
That's nice.
We can edit this out, but my Mother's Day post was going to be, I want anybody that has ever come out of me or come in me to keep away
Oh,
from
I
me.
saw that one and I sent it to my husband.
I was like, if you don't. You are not to come this is my radius. You've all come out of me and you have definitely been everyone out. That's what I'm doing.
Sorry, Rich.
Sorry, Rich.
I was like, I'm going to put a post up of my kids. And I was like trying to find a photo and couldn't. It was always like,
I so didn't do it.
or me and Alba or me and Sadie. No, for last Sorella. So I could be like, Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah.
And then at one point it's like, hey, everybody outside was to pull it. Like I'm like standing on the step and they're all sitting like with me and Alba just like storms out, my eldest, and just like.
Oh my God.
And I was like, Albs, what's wrong? Nothing. What's actually wrong?
Nothing.
So then we had 40, and then I was just like, you know what? This. I was
Who
like,
cares?
no one wants a photo. I'm just going to go back inside. And I was like, and then you're like, Happy Mother's Day. Hope everyone had a day. And then that's when I was like, #blessed as in like, lol.
Oh my God.
But yes, the chaos is loud, but the love is definitely louder.
It is.
Yeah.
I love that.
Agree.
You bring lots of
Yeah,
good.
God. Has she written a few of these down?
Guys, I've had an awakening.
You bring a lot. we're going to have a new group
Still
chat.
now.
I'm actually in my healing era, so.
For anyone who wants to
I'm,
be,
I'm actually doing a lot of internal work. So.
I feel like we need to
She
be
is,
in
it's
this
fun.
needs to be our Salon Rising group chat era that this just continues.
Yes.
And
Can
Tiff
we
just,
actually though?
Tiff just comes in
Everyone,
with a
just
like
keep on voting
Yeah.
for the Blonde Therapy girls to come back.
Tiff just comes in with a like daily like
Yeah.
here's your daily
Here's
like
your
boom
daily
moment.
affirmation.
Because you said something.
I actually would.
There was something last time I was like, oh, I like that. I'm going to use that. But yes, chaos is loud, but love is louder.
Yeah.
I love that.
We're running with that.
Pretty,
We're running with that. It's the same with a salon, babe. The chaos is loud, but
It
the love is
is.
louder.
It is.
It actually is.
Yeah.
Yes, we are really lucky. We actually went out to dinner and had like a really, really fun
my God, it
Friday
was
with
so
the
good.
girls. And it was just so much fun. It was like for the first time ever we were able to be like, what the fuck? We actually did it. We like attracted these people that
good
were
on
really
you.
like-minded. And we just
I woke up Saturday and I was like on top of the world.
yeah, it was just
It
so,
was so
fun.
beautiful.
They're just silly and fun and
And we did like this beautiful, so we're like doing this thing every 3 months called Flourish Fridays where we finish earlier. And then, so last Friday I organized like a sound bowl healing meditation thing. And it's just so nice being able to be vulnerable with each other.
the girls hadn't done anything like that before, but they were like so open to it and they just absolutely loved it. So it was really nice to do something like that.
I love that
together.
stuff.
Yeah, me too. It's really fun.
Keeps my mind calm.
Me too.
Same.
Connection, me too.
Yeah, connection.
All right. Well, we finished 95 minutes ago and then we just kept going.
Yeah.
So
What's the time?
Richard's like,
Wait, how
you
long
said-
have we been talking for?
Sorry, Rich.
he's used to it. All right. Love it. Thank you.
Thanks
so much for listening,
Thank you
guys.
so much.
We absolutely
Thank
love
you.
We'll come back anytime.
Please
You'll
do.
have to come to
Sorting
the
out
Switch.
Anytime.
We'll
Oh my
have to come to the
gosh.
Switch.
Oh,
Yeah, we
the
will
Switch.
have to come to the Switch.
On the
actually.
road.
We'll need more Tiffisms.
Girls on tour.
We're calling them.
Girls.
Yeah.
Girls on tour. Tiff
Seriously.
memes. Come in for the Tiff memes for the healing era.
I love that.
You come out with so many good bangers. I'm
Yeah.
just about
Oh,
it.
thank you. It's because I'm young.
I love that.
It's 'cause I'm young
old
and
and I've
relevant.
forgotten them all and now I'm just exhausted. So just keep bringing them.
Yeah. I'll often say like, oh, I don't know, maybe like our age. She's like, love, you just need to stop saying that.
Yeah.
There is no our age
No.
with the two of us. She's like, no, you're Blake.
I do that in the
I know.
opposite. I
She
do
does
that
that
for
to
Jen.
me all the time.
I say
I'm like,
our
we're
age.
the
same age. You are young and I am tired.
Mate, I got 5 kids, same.
I'm tired too, but mine's irrelevant because I've actually got nothing on
The
my
fact
plate.
that you said it, thank you. All
I'm
right,
very
guys.
self-aware.
Thank
Have you
you.
stopped it?
Bye.
Goodbye.